Hello, YouTube! This is Chaos System with Iron Sleeper. You may know us both as Adam and Jake.
Yep.
And Jake here is also Mr. Trashy and the technical owner of our YouTube channel. And on YouTube, I am A-Man Katie. And I have only now started responding to the comments on there because the fans fucking scare me.
So there was that girl that threatened to eat your skin, and the really concerning part about that is that she said it was an act of love.
Exactly. I don't think eating people's skin is an act of love, guys. I mean, this isn't Twilight.
Oh, God. Anyway, why don't you tell them what we're here for?
We are doing a few test podcasts. We'll be doing another one here in a few hours. And we're just, like most podcasts, we just have a little topic that we're going to have, and we're going to speak about it. Jake might not always be here, but that's kind of the plan. Just like with the My Immortal readings, he is more or less going to be omnipresent. And we'll bring in other people from our group, and if we ever get the chance, just other people in general. And, anyway, moving on, today's topic, or right now's topic, is what we like most in video games.
You wanna go first, or?
I guess. I think what I like most in video games is maybe the chance at interactivity.
Like dialogue option type deal? Or
yeah, you know, like dialogue options or having a part in cutscenes, like quick play options, and then stuff like where you don't just walk over stuff to get it. Like you have to look down and grab it, and then you actually have like whole things where he's taking out ammo or sheathing something or whatever. You know, like feel like you're actually part of the game, immersing yourself in it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like why I like stuff like RPGs, just for the story way they do it. Where, you know, especially stuff like Persona, where you can completely do whatever the fuck you want, more or less.
Yeah, so it really feels like your actions are actually having like an effect on the story.
Yeah, you're not just being pushed through you're not just being pushed to the story, and everyone has to play it the same way or whatever. Yeah. You know, like you played the new Deus Ex. Well, obviously, I saw you.
Yeah.
Here. I saw you here. I'm playing it on my TV.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, you know, where you can actually you can make your choices, or you can play it the way you specifically want to. And speaking with this, you actually do have to do some of that stuff where your guy actually does, like, open up doors and put in codes and stuff like that. And there's some unappreciated games that do it, like Duke Nukem Forever, which I don't care what anyone says. It's actually a really good game. It just doesn't live up to the hype. I will
say it doesn't live up to the hype, and if you take it seriously, you're not going to have a good time.
Oh, God, no.
If you enjoy it for the fact that it's like a macho trip, that it's, I don't know, it's kind of like being God in a way. Being the most macho guy that you possibly can, it's so over the top. If you look at it seriously, you're going to hate it, but if you're looking at it for what it is, you're just going to have a blast playing it.
Exactly. It's Chuck Norris the game.
You drink beer and become invincible for a while. What's not to think is great about that?
And Duke Nukem Forever, like I said, and then this game that you probably never heard of on the Xbox called Breakdown, which kind of I think Duke Nukem Forever might have taken some cues from, you know, because you actually got to look at stuff and you got to pick it up, and your guy actually goes through the motions of like tearing off stuff from like rations and before eating it, and actually opening up cola cans before drinking it and whatnot. You know, just nice little stuff like that.
Little touches.
Also, most of those kind of games have the ability to brawl. Brawlers anymore.
Just beating the crap out of someone with your bare hands.
Especially first-person brawlers. There's only like, what, Breakdown, and then Xenoclash, and what else?
I don't know. I think it's because first-person brawling is a little bit harder to do.
It's a bit hard to program, I know that much. But I think it'll get more popular as days go on. You can technically do it in stuff like Oblivion and Fallout, too.
Yeah, you switch it just to first-person camera.
It's a bit harder to do, but, you know, it's always kind of fun playing Wasteland or Medieval Batman, basically.
Oh, God.
You know, barring throwing dynamite at you guys. Anyway, what about you, Jake?
My favorite thing about video games has got to be leveling up. Honestly, even if it's just minor things like stat increases, I love it all. Just being that much cooler and giving me the ability to do different things as I play the game. I feel like it's the best kind of reward that a game can give you. You know, here's something for all your hard work. It's not like, you know, you play something like Call of Duty. You kill a room full of guys, you just killed a room full of guys, nothing. In some other games, you kill a room full of guys, you gain a level, you can make your the current skills that you have even better, you can go off and learn even more ways to kill a room full of guys. It's just something that keeps the game more entertaining for me.
Kind of goes with interactivity, too, because that way you are progressing in your own way.
Yeah, you have things like Borderlands. When you leveled up, you didn't really level up anything more significant. You know, you got more health, and you got to do your skill tree. But really what I liked about games like Borderlands and the Elder Scrolls franchise is that the more that you do something, the more it rewards you for doing it. It recognizes that this is what you like to do, and they make you better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you like to use sniper rifles in Borderlands, you get better with using sniper rifles. It's just really a nice touch that I like to see in games.
Yeah, it specializes to you, just like it kind of does in real life. I mean, if you sword fight everyone, ever, all the time, eventually you're going to be a master sword fighter, or whatever. You know, stuff like that. It's a nice touch. Again, just like anything else, it's a lot harder to program, it takes more time, and a lot more money, but it's very rewarding. I mean, because those games made how much fucking money?
I know, and another great thing about it is that you can play it again, and you can completely change how you like to play it. Like, the first time I played Borderlands, I did it with pretty much an assault rifle, run and gun the whole way. The second time I did it, I played as Mordecai, the sniper.
Mm-hmm.
I spent most of that time, I didn't even get close enough to use my little short sword on guys. Because if they would run at me, I'd send out the eagle, or actually, through kind of a weird twist of events, when I used the sniper, I started using shotguns all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I made it so, because you don't need a whole lot of skill to use a shotgun. You just kind of point it and pull the trigger and it's dead.
And someone's dying.
Someone's gonna die. You hope it's not you.
Right.
Then, close second for me has got to be
Blair Witch Project is done. Oh yeah, this asshole has never seen the Blair Witch Project before.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get to do that coming up pretty soon. That ought to be fun.
Yeah. We'll explain what's happening there in just a moment.
Yeah. But a close second for me, other than leveling up, it's got to be customization. Like, not just you know, the items that you carry. I just like tricking stuff out. Like, you know, you talked about Deus Ex earlier. You can slap on so many upgrades on the guns. It's ridiculous.
Right.
You know, I can give it a silencer. I can give it more damage. I can make it have a larger magazine. I can give it a red dot, which is just a nice little touch, because it makes aiming a lot easier. But again, it's all about the way that you play a game. But you can, of course, take customization the wrong way, like with the first Mass Effect. You remember digging through the item screen trying to find that gun that just worked the most for you.
Right.
You had the gun, and then you had the 2 or 3 upgrades if you have found those kind of guns. And it just...
I actually didn't even bother with the upgrades in in the first Mass Effect game.
Well,
in Mass Effect 3, it's kind of a godsend, I'll be honest.
Well, yeah, you just have to find a nice balance where it's not the same thing. Someone who plays the game differently can slap it out all different. You know, have your own thing going on. And really, though, the upgrades actually do matter.
Right.
Which was kind of the pain in the ass thing about it. It actually matters, but it's such a pain to go through it that no one really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Because the inventory system, I don't know, I could go off for hours about the inventory system in Mass Effect 1.
I can go off about the inventory system in a lot of games, because, oh my shit.
Really, my favorite though, kind of inventory system, it's Resident Evil
I was about
Deus
to
Ex
mention
style.
that.
Yeah, just where you have a limited amount of space because that's all a person can actually carry.
It's a fucking puzzle. What is with puzzles in Resident Evil? It's a fucking puzzle just to put a gun inside a box.
You can do it. Try harder.
Yeah. All I need is like all 10 kinds of berries and a key that I found in some dead guy's stomach. And then I have to figure out how to mix the berries and then pour them into the key and shit. I don't even know. But yeah, it's survival horror game.
Yeah, I just love the inventory system because it makes it seem more real in a way. Even though you have something like crazy fantastical like zombies, it feels more like Leon was an actual guy running around.
Yeah, because he had a briefcase and that's all. And the only things he could carry in his briefcase was all he had.
Yeah.
Although it would have been nice if they actually showed it like slapping up against him as he's running
that,
around like, oh shit!
That would have been too much.
Yeah. Anyway, we are out of time, and we'll have another one up here in a bit on, believe it or not, found footage films, which we'll be watching several of.
I don't know. I don't think it really needs to be said, but we aren't the kind of guys who like stuff like Call of Duty. Really, just a run and gun shooter like that. I don't care how you try and say it. It's the same thing. It's just a run and gun shoot. You play Call of Duty, you're either...
Duke Nukem Forever!